Greetings, B-movie aficionados.
Hello, welcome to A Couple of Flicks. I am Tristan.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Zach.
All right, so this episode will be a little bit unusual because these picks that we chose were a bit more at random, which, you know, you shall see the process of that throughout, I suppose.
Yeah.
But before we dive in, how are you guys?
Not bad.
Yeah, doing well.
Is there anything interesting you guys have seen lately that you want to mention or talk about or anything? Or...
I saw the new Scream.
Okay, how was it?
It's okay. I think they tried to be a little too meta, but and it's the only one that Wes Craven didn't do, right? Because he did the other four. So yeah, it didn't have the same feel.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I mean, a lot of people have told me that they really loved it, but I'm always. The thing is, a lot of people told me that they really loved the fourth one as well, and I saw the fourth one in the theater, and I was like, it was kind of silly, but I love the first Scream a lot.
Yeah.
I've never been too big on the second one. I know a lot of people like the second one. I kind of find the second film to be really annoying. The third Scream film I actually thought was okay. It wasn't it wasn't really that interesting, but I thought like it was an okay way to sort of end a series that didn't really have anywhere to go. And then the fourth film was kind of when it became a little bit too. It kind of drifted a little too heavily into like the parody territory, I felt like. And like to me, the fourth film was already too meta. So I can't really even imagine how a fifth film would be. Like
yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's still okay.
Okay. And Neve Campbell and company are in it and all that.
Yeah, I think 3 of them.
Okay.
Patricia Arquette, David Arquette.
Okay, cool. Or or Courtney Cox, yeah.
Yeah, well,
whichever one.
Yeah.
Whichever
you know who
Arquette.
I'm talking about.
Yeah. Whatever the lady's name was from Friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've watched way too much stuff to even really talk about, to be honest. So I'm not going to even get into it. But what about you, Nick? Anything interesting?
Not really. I saw this really dumb movie called Duck Butter. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of that one. I want to say I've seen it.
It's like an indie film, like from the Duplass brothers production company or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's a Netflix. I don't know if it's Netflix exclusive, but it's on Netflix. It's like I don't know, it's weird. The Duplass brothers show up as basically themselves, but only for a couple scenes.
Okay.
But it's mostly like just about like 2 girls, lesbians. They I don't know, have a bad relationship breakups, both of them, and they decide to just get with each other for 24 hours and bang on the hour.
All right. I mean, I've never heard of this movie, but I can, based on that description, I can totally believe that it's by the Duplass, the two Blas brothers.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like I've watched at least a couple other movies that had a similar plot to that. So.
Yeah. Like the main girl is maybe from Arrested Development. Or what is her name in Arrested Development? The cousin.
Shit, I haven't watched that in a while.
Okay.
It was weird, and I forget most of it. I just
Yeah.
had to look it up right now to figure out what the plot was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on a documentary kick. I guess like I can't really think of anything like off the top of my head that I should probably dive into. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to talk about the Oscars, to be honest.
Yeah, that's all I'm seeing since it happened.
Yeah,
I got sick of it like 2 hours later.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think I'd rather just forget it ever happened for the time being. Just wait it out. Everybody else is already talking about it, so there's nothing really more to add. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the meme of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good one though.
Yeah, it's a very interesting situation. I'll give it that. I'm very sympathetic to everybody at the end of the day, and yeah, I'm not looking forward to everybody talking about it. I mean, let's face it. Like, one of the most popular artists in the world, like, assaulted somebody on live television. So people are going to be talking about it for a long time, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard a single person talk about Best Picture afterwards.
Yeah.
Either.
It really bums me out because I don't know. I kind of think Coda is sort of a revolutionary movie. Like,
I want to see it, but I refuse to. I hate Apple, so I mean,
Yeah,
I
I only
yeah.
probably pirate it.
only saw it because I had a free trial.
Yeah, and actually, even though I do feel like the movie honestly did deserve to win it. I really do feel that way. But the downside, though, is that now this kind of gives more legitimacy to like streaming, and I kind of was hoping there'd be a little bit more of a balance.
Hasn't
But
Netflix won one a while ago? Like, what was it?
Yeah,
Did
but
Roma win?
Roma didn't win, but Roma was nominated and it won Best International Picture, which was like, that's still pretty big. But Roma in a way doesn't really count because that one wasn't like even though Netflix bought the rights to distribute it, it wasn't made by Netflix. Netflix just bought the movie. So, and actually, I guess in a way that's the same with Coda, because Coda came out at the same time as Judas and the Black Messiah, and Apple bought. Yeah,
Such a confusing timeline.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. This movie, like Coda, has actually been like talked about for a long time, and it was bought by Apple like I think the day of its premiere. Like Apple like immediately like made a deal with the producer like right then and there. I think it was like a done and done type of thing. So, which that kind of thing can happen. And Coda really is a movie that's worth seeing, but yeah, it is owned by Apple, unfortunately. So that's going to cause more problems.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah. Anyway, but let's move on because we got some shitty movies to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. And when I mean shitty because these are delightful. So let's talk about your choice, or well, it wasn't your choice, Nick, but let's talk about your inadvertent pick.
All right.
You guys want to pick a random number? Or should I put it in a number generator?
I'll pick my number. What's the number I'll go to?
1572.
Okay. I'll pick a random one. For mine, I'll go with 369.
I'll do a screen share.
Yeah.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
And I got Corbin Nash.
Ooh.
Okay.
That sounds cool.
All right, above it, Night of the Demons.
Oh wow, that's funny.
Shit.
All right, Corbin Nash.
Mine was Corbin Nash. And if there's ever any proof for destiny, this is it. Because this is a vampire film, and you all know how much I love vampires and shit. So
Yeah, as soon as I found that out, I'm like, oh shit, that's perfect.
right? I was like, oh wow, okay, I didn't expect
Yeah.
this at all.
I didn't expect this either, actually. Like,
Just by
I thought it was going to be a wrestling.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, that's
name, yeah. Yeah. I thought it was gonna be just. I mean, it kind of was cop drama stuff, just by the look of the picture, or the poster,
Yeah.
or whatever. But kind of was that as well too. So,
Yeah, it was like an interesting mishmash of things.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's a vampire movie. Corbin Nash is a. I don't know who plays him. I forget what his name.
I forget too.
He wasn't the biggest name at all. There's
No, he's some
Dean,
dude.
Dean
Huh?
Jagger.
Dean
That's
Jagger.
That's a
Huh.
cool name.
Yeah.
He looks like Corey Taylor from Slipknot. So I kept thinking the whole movie.
Huh.
Dean Jagger. And this is actually not the first movie that we're watching, by the way, where the main actor is played by an actor named Dean. So watch out. Anyway.
Yeah. That's funny, yeah. And I don't even think he's first billed or titled in this one.
Probably not.
Because there's
No.
Malcolm McDowell's in it for a couple
Yeah.
scenes.
Yeah. But we all know who the real star of the movie was.
Corey Feldman. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was played an interesting character for sure.
Oh yeah. Never seen him play anything like this before. You know? It's not, I wouldn't say this is my favorite Corey Feldman performance, but this one I did like him in this though quite a bit.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah. If you want to see like a really interesting Corey Feldman performance, The Birthday, if you can find that. It is available. It is out there. I know it is. But The Birthday, it stars Corey Feldman, and he does a really good job in that one. And it's actually kind of an interesting movie too. But anyway.
Oh, well, so it starts out with I guess the main plot is Nash is a cop. He's doing missing persons investigation. There's a whole slew of missing persons he's looking into. It starts out, I guess, with him like, is it the first scene? There's a stripper character. She finds him like half dead on the ground mysteriously. With
Yeah.
I don't know, was it? There's some
It was-
narration, I guess, too, with Malcolm McDowell kind of explaining shit.
Yeah, it's kind of like he's kind of narrating like a prophecy type of thing, where like Corbin Nash it's like he's like a chosen one. It's sort of like a Constantine type of.
I got those vibes from it
idea.
for sure.
Yeah,
A lot of
know,
Blade
and so-
vibes as well.
yeah, Blade Constantine, meets like cop drama, meets pro wrestling match, meets like vampires.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, so the first scene is just the stripper finds him bloodied up, and then it does a 6-month beforehand flashback kind of thing.
Yeah.
Him doing his investigating shit. It's very. They go to a bar. Him and his partner. I think it's his partner. I don't even remember at this point.
Yeah. I
They're
think
just.
something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of blurry.
Yeah, it's been a few days. It's actually been like almost like 2 weeks since I've watched it. So, this was the first one I watched out of the choices. I was like, I gotta dive into Corbin Nash. Really, like there was like, all right. I guess the way I would describe it is your standard cop drama where this guy is kind of investigating this series of murders. He gets in over his head with he kind of gets mixed up with this girl in the midst of it, and then like the film kind of takes a turn where he ends up getting sort of he doesn't get killed, but he gets put like he gets like injured to the point where he's like teetering in and out of consciousness, and he keeps entering into like this alternate sort of almost purgatory type of thing, you know, where there's like prisoners or something. It was like the vampires were bringing him into like a world or something like that. It was like a weird thing.
I thought that was just this, like, because I thought it was just the flashbacks.
Oh, well, maybe they were flags.
That's what I thought it was, is because it was like she finds him and
like,
starts like resuscitating him.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because that's why I thought like, because like there were a couple parts where like he interrupted it, but yeah, I guess it would have made sense that they were flashback. I thought that they were happening like it at that moment. He was just his spirit or mind or something was just trapped in an alternate like purgatory world. So that's what I thought. Honestly, all of it is sort of stuff we've seen before. Kind of the more interesting stuff is the stuff with the vampires.
Yeah, because it was fairly not well done in that flashback stuff, because he gets eventually he like, because they basically what it is a fight club for vampires, and like they make the humans fight to the death or whatever. And Corbin Nash eventually wins, but then gets eaten by the vampires but somehow they let him live or dump him out on the street.
Yeah, and then he comes back and he's like super powered.
Yeah, he has his vampire powers, so he's like, which is confused, which kind of like, that's why it's the flashback shit didn't work, because in my eyes, because because it goes to that prison, but you already know he's gonna make it out because it's a 6 months earlier or later flashback. So you're like, okay, this is anticlimactic. I know he's gonna get out somehow. And then the way he gets out isn't explained at all. You like, what we see is him just getting eaten by the vampires, and then it's just continues from the bedroom of him being chained up.
Yeah, he like wakes up and there's like, at one point somebody gets killed. Yeah.
So he's basically doing this investigation stuff. At very beginning, he's told by, I don't know, some random people. I don't know how they knew him. There were I don't know who these people were, but they were saying that his parents were hunters.
Yeah.
And they never use the word vampire. I think they just say like demons and shit. Which to be fair, Buffy does use vampires, but they're Buffy vampires are demons in that little realm.
Yeah.
So maybe they drew some information and inspiration from Buffy.
Yeah, kind of felt like it. Like Buffy Fight Club.
Yeah, and he's given a ring too of his parents that signifies that he's some kind of vampire hunter, I guess.
He's the chosen one. He's the chosen vampire hunter.
Yeah,
he's been chosen by the his family lineage or whatever the heck.
By Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, by Rutger Hauer. I forgot. Yeah, he shows up at the beginning of this movie. You know, like I wonder if he was just like on set. He like thought it was a bar. They're like, no, it's just a set for a movie. But hey, actually, could you stick around for 5 minutes? You know, let's film you in a scene. Hey, read these lines. It's beautiful. Rutger Hauer, man, R.I.P.
So yeah, we eventually come across the Feldman character as well. And I don't know what I don't know really what he was. If he was, I'm assuming a male, because we see him banging a hooker in the middle of the street on top of a car. But he's also like he's like a female impersonator, but he's like, yeah, definitely, because like you said, he picks up like female hookers and stuff, so, or female prostitutes or whatever they're called in the movie. It seems like he has a romantic relationship with his buddy that he's hanging out with too, as well, because he like calls him baby and stuff, and they love each other and stuff like that. So some type of LGBTQ stuff is going on. He's at least a cross-dresser of some sort, because he's decked out in women's clothing and makeup and everything. And his makeup was wild. Like his, like what kept distracting me is whatever the fuck they put on his eye, like above his eyes. Like it, I don't know if that was like I don't know what the fuck that was.
Yeah,
Like,
that was intense. I don't know. I didn't recognize him at first. Like at
yeah,
first I was like, who is this strange fella? And then I was like, wait a minute, that voice sounds kind of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Oh wait, that's Corey Feldman, And like, yeah, it was crazy.
yeah. Uh, so
But he actually ends up being kind of the villain, interestingly
yeah.
enough.
Mm,
Like he ends up being like the most deadly character in the whole movie.
more or less the main villain. There is like a big
Yeah.
bad that we see for a scene. I don't.
Yeah.
Does he even come back? I don't even know if that.
Yeah, I at some point, like I don't know, so many characters get killed. I guess it doesn't really matter,
Yeah.
but he ends up being the character that everybody kind of wants revenge on because I guess he's responsible for like everybody's and their grandma's death.
Yeah, he's basically responsible, or at least this whole vampire ring is responsible for the missing people that he's searching for.
Yeah.
And the strippers has a kid that's gone missing, which Nash recognizes as one of his missing peoples that he's looking for. So he has some, ties to this stripper, who he also evident like he saved her from just being groped on at the strip club. He beats the crap out of some perv, and he doesn't even remember it at first when he's like, oh, because she recognizes him when he's a bloody mess on the ground. He's like, oh, this is that guy that saved me a while back.
It's so funny. Yeah. And at some point, like, doesn't like her, it's like her landlord or her pimp or somebody shows up or this is like knocking at her, like the typical like crazy abusive, like,
I think it was like her boyfriend of some sort.
Yeah.
Because he gets jealous.
Yeah,
he gets jealous because he sees Nash on the bed, and he's like, "Oh, you fucking some other guy now."
Yeah.
And then like,
so
her landlord is like an old lady. She comes out with a shotgun on him and tells him to get the fuck out, and then just tells her, "You owe me rent."
That was so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. And then what happens? I don't even. I mean, it kind of wraps up pretty fast. Like, there's a lot of build up to a pretty quick, like, kill. Like, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. So he does have a partner, and he's looking. Oh God, how does this even work? I don't even. So I remember him going to like some storage unit where there was like meat hooks and shit around. His partner, at least, I think he was maybe searching for his Nash while he was all holed up and all fucked up.
Oh yeah, because like her crazy boyfriend, like basically rats him out to the vampires.
Yeah.
And I think that's what results in him like basically getting killed, which we knew he was going to get killed anyway. But I mean, still.
Yeah. And eventually we get to the part where Nash gets captured as well. And he's chained up in this dungeon, like this underground little dungeon that we see. Don't really know what's going on there until a little bit. It's some type of fight club.
Yeah.
There's mysterious people, like we just hear cheers, but no one we don't see anything except for like a boxing ring that's, instead of your usual wires, or tight ropes or whatever, it's barbed wire ropes.
Mm-hmm.
So we see a couple of fight scenes with him. There's one where he just like slices the dude's neck against the ropes with the barbed wire. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And that's basically what happens down there. And they basically say that they use them, I don't know, for entertainment and food, more or less.
Yeah.
And again, this is where we get to the part where somehow Nash gets broken out. Not really even broken out, because we don't see what happens. We just see him getting eaten. And then that's where we pick up from the very beginning of 6 months earlier or later, or whatever, of the stripper girl finding him and resuscitating him. and he realized, because he starts coming to more coherently at least, and realizes what's going on, that he's turning, he's hungry and shit, and then he basically asks the girl to kill him, and you think, oh, she might try and whatnot. She gets on top of him with a knife, but instead she just like cuts her hand and feeds him. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was kind of a weird moment. I was like,
Yeah. Yep, okay.
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Eventually Nash does meet up with McDowell, and I guess like I don't know, because there's definitely like heaven and hell references. Like I don't know if
Yeah.
McDowell was a fallen angel of. There's one of the characters, either Nash or McDowell, was a fallen angel.
Right. Which actually, that reminds me of one movie that I've been kind of wanting to watch on this show at some point, is that Christopher Walken movie that it's based on Paradise Lost. The Prophecy. Have you ever heard of that movie?
Yeah, isn't there a bunch of them too?
Oh yeah, there's like 5 of them, but
Yeah.
I was mainly thinking of the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
Anyway,
familiar. Yeah.
yeah. I've just been kind of curious to rewatch that one at some point, but not today though. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
Oh, the vampire dudes. So like, also there's just that one weird ass scene with, I think like Feldman and the ex, like
Yeah.
he lures that abusive ex into like the alleyway to give him a blowjob, but like
Yeah.
but like bites his dick off and feeds on him and shit.
That was funny.
Yeah. So there was that happened.
Yeah. So I guess he's like bisexual, or I don't know, maybe like he just eats everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just hungry.
Yeah.
Let's see. The stripper eventually gets taken as well, I believe. So he has to go and rescue her, of course. And he made one thing too was that like his dad was a famous baseball player.
Okay,
Right?
yeah.
And that was his cover for being a vampire hunter. And then the cool thing I thought was Nash's weapon, because it's obviously vampires at this point, because McDowell kind of gives them the hint that you got to stake them through the heart, right?
Yeah.
So he fashions a wooden baseball into a stake, which I thought was really cool. His
Cool.
dad was a baseball player. This is a wooden stake to kill
Yeah.
vampires. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to combine vampire and baseball once in a while. I don't know, how often does that happen? I mean, the only other time I could think of is Twilight, but we don't talk about that.
They're not vampires either.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're some unicorn thing. Is there anything else that does that though? I can't think of any vampire baseball movies other than this off the top of my head.
So. I'm sure there's
Maybe
one out
anime?
there.
Yeah, there's got to be something. Hey, internet, if you're listening, look up vampire baseball movies for us, please. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. So he just goes basically to the hideout, maybe, I guess. Just starts murdering them all, starts killing all the vampires.
Yeah.
Bunch of decent, all right fight scenes between all of them.
Didn't mind them too much. Some of them were a little edited a little frenetically, like kind of hit all the best shots. But for the most part, they were pretty interesting to watch. I thought they were really well lit. And I like the main actor's like facial expressions a lot too. Like he had, I don't know, I liked his fighting faces. Like he had good fighting faces. It's hard to, I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah, and when he leads, he finds like Feldman and his boyfriend or whatever, because he's looking for the stripper. She's actually in like in a table thing that was pretty interesting. Like at first they're just sitting at a table and whatnot, and he's like, oh, he's alive, there he is. Oh, how did he live?
Yeah.
I don't know how he lived. You should know how he lived. You dumped him out in an alley before making sure he was dead. Like, what kind of logic are you guys working with here?
Yeah, I don't know. That was silly.
Like, well, they're vampires. What did they think was gonna happen?
Yeah, they know how to turn people.
Yeah. I guess these characters aren't very familiar with vampires, or what vampires are. Like, maybe
They kind of know, because like there was a conversation with Feldman and his lover that says, "Oh, how old am I?" And he says so he's 32 technically,
Yeah.
not or technically 73. He's like, how old am I? 32. No, really, how old am I? Well, 73 technically, or whatever.
Oh, yeah, no.
So-
The vampires definitely know. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, I don't really know what happens. Like, because one thing that the reason why I say Twilight isn't vampires is because of the sunlight shit.
Yeah.
You're supposed, they're like, you can't change core elements to certain things without them being something completely different. And if you don't die or at least get severely maimed in the sunlight, that's not a vampire. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of the same reason I had a problem with the movie Daybreakers, is they had to mess with the sunlight stuff in that as well. You know? Like,
yeah, I remember liking that one. That was the
yeah.
one with, like, the vampire.
I like Daybreakers
over,
as
right?
well. Yeah. What was that?
That's where like the vampires already just took over the world, basically.
Yeah, I liked Daybreakers as well, but I just thought it was kind of silly how the way to like cure vampires was with sunlight. Like, I feel like there was some kind of weird thing they did with I don't even remember.
Yeah, it was like some chemical type sunlight shit.
Yeah, which I was like, wait a minute, okay, hold on here.
Wouldn't that just blow you up?
That's a bit you're kind of treading on sacred lore here. Like, I don't know, that kind of bothered me a little bit, but I still liked Daybreakers, you know?
Yeah, and Vampire Diaries, which is I do enjoy, even though it's like a cheesy CW shit. But they had an interesting way of working around it, which is they do get murdered in sunlight, but like witches in that world they make rings or basically pendants or rings or whatever that lets them walk around in sunlight. But if they take those rings off, they die. So that's a neat way to get around that whole scenario instead of just fucking sparkling like little bitches. But yeah, he just starts staking people once he finds the hideout, stakes Feldman. And like his boyfriend's holding him and he kisses him and shit, and he gets all angry, and you think there's gonna be another little fight between Nash and that guy, but no, he just kind of gets staked right in the back before he even gets a chance. Because Feldman was like, kill him or something for me. And he like starts to turn around and then just gets stabbed immediately by the baseball bat.
At some point, Corey Feldman has the mother of all freakouts. Kind of felt like he was imitating Divine a little bit. Like,
got a lot of he looked quite a bit like her than especially with all that makeup and shit. But yeah, at the end, the stripper's son is for some reason in that house as well. They find him, rescue him, and then at the end and one thing I forgot to mention is like I don't really know the sunlight, because we never see him actually go into sunlight or anything, any vampire stuff, but they at least mention that it weakens them and they go blind during the sunlight. So and throughout the movie we see McDowell is blind. But like at the very last shot, we see like he takes it's at nighttime. He's explaining Nash what he is. Kind of sets up for like sequel type territory shit where he's
supposed to be one.
There is
still coming.
Apparently, you look on the director's IMDb, it's still in development.
Damn.
Okay, yeah, it definitely sets up at that very end because
Is Corey Feldman coming back? Well, actually, I get. Well, oh,
that'd be hard.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we see McDowell's character at the very end. He takes off his sunglasses and his eyes are glowing and shit. So he's either a vampire. I think he's just like some fallen angel of some sort, or demon. I don't really know what the hell he is. They call
He
him like
sucks
his
the blood of
character's-
dead rats. What was that?
His character's name is in the it's just Blind Prophet. So that doesn't help us either.
Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe we can just assume he's just blind, that it doesn't have anything to do with being a vampire. Maybe.
I mean, they said that vampires are blind in the sunlight. So
Yeah, I know. They shouldn't have said that because it kind of throws us off. Like,
yeah.
because I don't know, if he was a vampire, then what? Either he feeds on dead rats or what? Like,
Yeah, we never know.
yeah.
And there is always there's a reference to fallen angel throughout the movie, and I think it's McDowell.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. You know, maybe they'll explain it in the sequel. Like maybe Corbin Nash 2 will answer the questions. Like, I mean, this movie does leave you with a few of them. I have to admit. Like, I'm still a little bit confused about like just the whole like flashback thing. I don't know. I feel like there's some unfinished business there.
Yeah, I think it was just a poorly done like Tarantino-esque mixed timeline type shit that just was stupid and unnecessary.
Yeah, it confused the crap out of me because I thought that he was just in another dimension. I seriously was just confused the whole time. I'm like, I mean, this is interesting, but I don't know what the hell's going on. I mean,
Okay, I just got that it was flashbacks, just going back and forth.
Yeah, I think that's probably more likely what it was. I just was misunderstanding the movie because I can be dense like that sometimes. Like, I don't know. I still enjoyed it though, honestly. Like, I didn't think it was that bad. Huh?
I did too, especially as I always, enjoy new takes on vampire movies. So probably enjoyed it more than you guys. I mean, I don't know how much you guys enjoyed it, but I liked it quite a bit as a new little vampire film.
Yeah, I think I did too. It wasn't like, I mean, it had a lot of problems, but it was a fun, cheesy little thing. I'd watch it again. I think probably.
Yeah, I think it had potential, but it was like hindered by budget, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. So, I still liked it enough to probably give it like a 2 to 3 out of 5, something like that, maybe. Yeah,
I'd give it a 3. That's where I landed on it.
Yeah, cool.
I'd give it a 2.
Yeah,
nice.
Nice. Yeah, I'd say it was a pretty solid little action vampire cop drama.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I guess it is my turn now. All right, so my movie, it's a movie. It is titled. Dude, I'll just do a random one. I can't think of a number.
Number generator. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Got it all. I'll just do it 3 times, just so it's yeah.
Just to be fair.
3, 4, 17.
Okay.
Got Airplane versus Volcano.
All right, excellent.
Oh god.
I'll take it.
Okay. Well, you guys can skip these if you want.
I'll do Airplane versus Volcano. Why not?
Okay.
Airplane. Wait a minute. Yeah, Airplane versus Volcano. Sorry, I was a little confused at first. Airplane versus Volcano. Okay, so it's not a very complicated movie to explain. So I'll just dive right in. It's pretty much just kind of following in the same sort of footsteps as those airport movies from the 70s, only it's a lot schlockier. The basic plot, I mean, you could tell by the title what type of movie this was. Like when you guys saw that this was the title of the film that I had chosen, your thoughts were probably like, "Uh-oh, I bet this is Asylum" or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I didn't like this one at all. Like, because it's a good one to compare and contrast to Velociraptor or Velocipastor. Oh shit, I shouldn't have said. Bleep that out.
No, it's okay.
Our next movie, because they're in the same vein, right? They're in that same schlocky, silly area. But this one plays it 100% serious.
Yeah,
really.
Which makes it suck.
It was an hour and a half long, and it just felt like it dragged on for 3 hours. I was like, what the fuck?
The problem, I mean, what were you about to say, Zach?
I was gonna say, like, I didn't know what to expect, and then I saw Asylum. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. I knew that it was going to be an Asylum movie as soon as I saw the title. I was like, okay, only Asylum would dare put out a movie called Airplane versus Volcano, and sure enough,
I'm not familiar with them. What do they do?
They put out a lot of
shit.
Bunch of versus random objects versus random natural events.
Like Zach said, but shit. Like, pretty much just like, I mean, Transmorphers,
a lot of mockbusters.
Yeah, Terminators, Atlantic Rim,
Right.
You get the Snakes on a Train, like basically just rip off titles.
Like sci-fi kind of schlocky.
Yeah. And then they also get away with I think that they also are responsible for those wait, what is it?
Sharknado.
Shark Hurricane?
Are they? Sharknado?
Shark Tornado, yeah. Shark Tornado. Yeah.
Sharknado.
Sharknado. Sorry. Sharknado. Sorry, I knew the title didn't sound right. Okay, yeah, Sharknado. I think they're responsible for those too. So
that's interesting then, because I don't know if I've seen them, but they look funny in the good way, bad funny. But this one wasn't funny at all. Like,
yeah, they most of their crap isn't fun. They're like cheapo dime store. Like, very rarely are their movies any good at all. Yeah. I'll leave it at that. This movie, I like, as far as Asylum movies go, believe it or not, I would actually probably rank this as one of the better ones I've seen. And really? Yeah. So take that as you will. If you hated this movie, then I don't know. I might not recommend that you check out a whole lot of movies from the Asylum Studios. So this one, all right. So basically, we start off some dudes on an island, like doing measurements of the groundscape or some shit. He's radioing to nearby central coordinates tower. This lady who is suddenly becoming aware of volcanic activity in that area that she didn't realize existed, and then they all erupt, and so he gets killed. And instead of alerting the airplanes that would obviously be pretty commonly flying in that area, instead of immediately doing that, which would be the smart thing to do and would have been the first thing to do in a situation like that, instead she decides, holy shit, this could be serious. I better, get in contact with the rest of my crew and figure out what to do here. So they all commingle. They all pretty much stay in one place, which is right near this area, which is like, okay, if you have all these volcanoes erupting in this one area, you probably don't want to stay in that one place, but for whatever reason, they stay there anyway, which sure enough leads to several of them getting eventually killed. Most of the movie is spent with them dicking around, mostly arguing amongst themselves about what to do. One person actually tries to maybe attempt to rescue people in the airplane, which of course ends up getting people killed. There's some conflict between him and his superior about that,
Well,
but
that's the
otherwise not a whole
military,
lot
too.
happened. Yeah,
That was a whole military. Like she was,
yeah,
the scientists were brought in by the military for some reason.
yeah. But it's like you're not really doing anything else. So what else are you gonna do?
And one of the scientists also was on the plane that's fighting the volcano.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I guess I should probably talk about the plane stuff. But really, the stuff that's on the ground floor, pretty much nothing happens until the last 20 minutes. So yeah, I don't really need to talk about much of that. As for what happens on the airplane, we get a select few characters here and there. We get a mom and her kid. We get this one officer who is kind of there, who happens to be on the plane. We have somebody who at first initially appears to be kind of an obnoxious type of person, but then ends up being the most useful person in the whole film. By, like you said, he ends up being one of the scientists at the tower, and so he ends up being the person that gets in contact with the tower to alert them of the situation. So that's pretty huge. We get a guy who goes crazy, ends up spending most of the movie locked in a bathroom, makes a couple attempts to kill people, actually ends up succeeding once, which I'll get to. And then we also get fucking Dean Cain himself,
Right? What the
Mr.
fuck happened to him, man? How did he get in this shit?
Mr. Lois and Clark,
Superman, goddamn.
yeah. And he gets into a little bit of a situation here in which he has to basically control the plane. And by control, I mean not really control basically at all, other than like the slightest movements, because the person in charge of the plane unfortunately dies. Yeah, the initial pilots get killed in a freak turbulence accident after getting hit by a volcanic eruption, and the lead pilot dies before he can give anybody the code to turn off the autopilot. So, and then
we get like two numbers of it.
Yeah, he gave them two numbers, but then
I thought they were going to go somewhere with that. Like, oh, there should be like a puzzle element or something.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. That's what I thought too. And, somehow the co-pilot died, although I don't know exactly how that happened. The lead pilot got slashed. I know that, but I don't know. The co-pilot
got like electrocuted or something.
I guess that would make sense.
Yeah, there was some electrocution bullshit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's total. And these characters are the stupidest idiot. Okay, so as if it's not bad enough that they couldn't get the code to the autopilot. When they actually get the chance to try to disable the autopilot, the stewardess who's down, or the steward, whatever you call her these days, who's down there actually ends up pressing the flight attendant. The flight attendant, she pulls a speed and accidentally ends up unloading a bunch of gas or oil, which causes a near fatal fireball incident to occur, which ends up getting stopped in the nick of time. But unfortunately, because of that, they blew out the capabilities to actually turn off the autopilot. So Dean Cain pretty much spends the whole movie in the pilot seat, slightly moving the wheel back and forth to try and avoid a volcanic eruption. But the plane gets hit by
like in autopilot, you get a little bit of maneuver room, I guess. He's like,
yeah.
An hour and a half of Dean Cain just struggling.
Yeah. And slowly trying to navigate through a massive, giant volcanic field.
Which must have been like, I don't understand. Like, was the autopilot set to just go in circles around this?
I guess so. I can't think of why else they couldn't get out of the volcanoes.
Either that or like the volcano actual circle was huge, because airplanes go 300, 500 miles an hour. Are you like what it looks like is they would have been over that in 5 minutes.
I think somehow the autopilot just for whatever reason caught them in a circle. I don't know how it happened, but they screwed up somehow.
That's really the only explanation, really.
And that's a pretty bad screw up to have in the middle of a pit of volcanoes. And I also like it's pretty funny because like there's also conflict that arises over whether or not Dean Cain can even like is even like adequate to be in the pilot seat, which is like,
Yeah.
all right, who else then? Seriously, like,
Right.
at one point the officer on board does recruit a select few circles of passengers to help out. One of them ends up tragically getting killed in a hilarious like scene where they have to try to navigate him outside of the airplane to like do whatever the heck to
that was hilarious.
Yeah,
That was the best part of the movie, honestly. It was,
yeah.
like, I wish they just used even just a sixth of the budget of explosion. I mean, I don't want to ruin the next movie of one of the best jokes in the next movie, but like, oh, that was so fucking funny.
That was hilarious.
Like, because he's flying out and like I don't know how, like, they
like dangling,
like, just kind of dangling, like, oh, it was so fucking funny.
And then when they're pulling him back, they just reverse the shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
so he's like kick. Oh yeah.
It was to get a volcanic like rock out of their engine. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
Which that's a brave thing to do. You know, attach yourself to a bunch of seat belts and then navigate a rock out of an engine. You know, but tragically the seatbelt unbuckles and he goes flying into the engine and gets, carved. Let's see. At one point they throw off all the luggage on the airplane to try and take off the weight, which doesn't really help.
with like a jumbo jet fucking loading door.
Yeah.
On a commercial plane.
I don't think that's how those work. Yeah.
No, that was so stupid. And actually, one thing I noticed is that these characters have a surprisingly easy time holding on to things when doors and windows and stuff get open. Well, at least until the end, but I'll talk about that.
It's funny too, because the air marshal guy, because all these characters are just cliches anyway, but the air marshal guy, because the bad guy, the guy that's going crazy, he's in a sweat when you first see him. He's like, oh, and somehow he knows something about Dean Cain, because he's like, about him. He tries to get the air marshal to investigate him. But he eventually has him at gunpoint, and he's like, what's gonna, or tries to throw somebody out the window, and he's, what's gonna happen if you open that door in a pressurized cabin. Apparently really nothing, because they do it a bunch.
Yeah it totally was in the logic of this movie, nothing happens. So let's see. So I guess Dean Cain is supposed to be the traumatized like man with a past who ends up having to be in charge of everybody's lives.
He is a pilot of some sort. They asked like, oh, what's the biggest thing you ever flew? And he's like, oh, a 9-seater. It's like, okay, all right. I got from it that he was somehow responsible for his family's death.
I got that much, which is like, Jesus, what did you do?
We don't know. We never really got
gosh.
Like, I don't know. Could have been just a bad divorce because of his shitty piloting
he
as well.
He decided to murder them all. Like, jeez. But I mean, you gotta have somebody who's crazy, I guess. And he gets a second chance by saving the lives of everybody. So he gets a chance to be both the worst person in the world and the best person in the world. Good for him. So let's see.
Oh, and to tie that weight loss thing, the way because they do throw the luggage out. There was a stupid line of one of the guys saying, geez, what do people pack in these? I don't know, fucking luggage, you dumbass. Like, they're always gonna be heavy. What are you talking about?
Like, people's belongings are heavy. That's life. Move on.
But the way they fix the weight issue is that one, they're flying on just like 1 or 2 engines by now, and Dean Cain manages to fly that particular engine right into a fireball and knock it off, and that helps. It doesn't immediately explode the airplane. And just
I don't know how that was bullshit. This movie was such bullshit. And it was so funny too, because like at first I thought, okay, he can fly the plane, I guess, by slowly navigating. But then I kind of, in hindsight, I realized that guy hit a lot of fireballs and debris throughout. So, maybe he wasn't the best person to pilot the plane. Like maybe somebody who like had played a flight simulator might have been a better pilot.
I bet
Who
that
knows?
nerd would have helped.
Yeah, like somebody. Anyway, eventually, the people at the radio tower managed to clue in somehow and figure out a way to, I guess, rescue, like dive through. But they kind of show up a little bit too late because most of the passengers like pretty much die before they manage to get on the airplane. The only ones who survive.
And there was that one confusing first rescue. Well, not confusing first rescue, but there was that first rescue where the big plane goes underneath them and they again open that fucking cargo door and jump. I'm like, I don't know how. I'm not a physicist, but I don't know if that would work. I think
no, I don't think
once
it
you
would.
jump out, you just go. Boop.
Yeah, I think so.
And then immediately, as soon as they rescue the first guy, a meteor or a fireball blows that shit up, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, so it didn't even matter. Yeah, like, and then also the crazy guy who locked himself in the bathroom, he does end up escaping. He somehow manages to find an escape hatch or like a suction raft with
That was so fucking stupid too.
Yeah, with a parachute.
Because it was the field marshal's idea.
Yeah,
he gets the parachute, he gets the raft.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shoots him and it worked. So the idea was that they were gonna attach parachutes to a raft and slowly float down to safety.
Yeah.
And like the stewardess says, there's not enough room on that raft, and he's like, whatever, and then gets shot by the bad guy.
That was so silly. But yeah, so he lands.
Yeah, it works amazingly.
Yeah, but then he ends up getting killed by like a fireball or some shit. So
the volcanoes start rising further, I think, and he melts.
that was it. Yeah, and then it erupts underneath him and he gets blown up. So pretty much most of the passengers die except for like the mom, her kid, the old couple that were crying the whole time, and then like one other dude, and then the lady, like the flight attendant, both the flight attendants, I think, or one of them. I
was
forget.
There more than one?
Maybe I think there was just one, and then Dean Cain ends up sacrificing himself to destroy the volcanoes because he's given a bomb.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then he blows up the volcano.
There was that military tension of the underling trying to save them, but the big guy saying, no, we can't put our men at risk. Yeah,
we're not gonna. I'm not letting you kill any more of my men, or whatever he says to him.
Yeah, and then they're patched through earlier in the movie, they're patched through to get communications, and then they basically all resign to death, sending out final words from each of them, and that inspires the military general to go and save them.
Yeah, pretty much. Which was
he gets in his own plane too, and their idea is to start shooting the volcanoes.
Yeah, it was so funny. Yeah. I was just like, all right, it's so stupid.
It was also like very Star Warsy because they were like, red team here, blue squadron here.
Yeah.
And they're like all blown up and like, oh no.
Yeah, and cheesy close-ups, and I think at one point, like later on when it was erupting, like there was like I think a fireball blows through some guy's chest. It was like a superimposed, like cheesy, stupid-looking effect. I was like, this is such a dorky movie, Dean Cain sacrifices his life for the greater good.
Sacrifice his career.
Yeah. Sacrifice. The flight attendant has a crying moment because she fell in love with him throughout the course of the movie. Yeah, which I mean, all right, whatever, I guess, it's fine, but it's like a more needless emotion over Dean Kane's career, and then
Oh, and
he
the
dies.
the
What?
rescue of the passengers too is wild. Like
Yeah, they
somehow
jump in, jump out,
somehow
jump in, jump
the
out.
top, yeah, somehow the roof, I don't know if the military people did it or just they got hit by something, but the roof just blasted off the fucking
Yeah,
entirely.
yeah, and a bunch of passengers got sucked out. So most of the passengers got sucked. Most of the passengers died in this movie. This
Yeah,
was
the
not a
extras
successful
basically.
rescue. This was
All
not
the
a successful rescue.
all the passengers with no lines died. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Even the passengers that had their seatbelts buckled got killed. You
Mhm.
know, like and so that's why it was stupid. How like at the end when they blow up the volcano, everybody in the tower was celebrating and giving each other high fives and bro hugs and bro heinies and all that shit. It's like, what are you guys celebrating for? All those piece of people died. Like the majority of people died. You only
Yeah.
saved
Right.
like 6 people.
That general guy was right. Should have just
Yeah.
left it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a lost cause. I mean,
Yeah,
what are you gonna
like
fucking
they
do?
actually did kill more of their people.
Yeah.
What were you about to say though?
Me?
Yeah, or whoever I interrupted one of you, I think.
And I was just saying, yeah. I wonder what the actual like death count was from military to airplane passengers. It may have evened out like during that dog
Seemed
fight
like it.
scene. Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna go back and watch the movie to count and find
No.
out. I don't think. I'll leave it up to whoever likes to do that type of thing. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do that. So
Yeah. So yeah, they loaded up the plane with explosives.
yeah,
Dean Cain sacks himself because the idea was they're just gonna blow a hole in the side of a volcano
yeah,
to relieve pressure.
right.
But at this point, like, why? What's the point? Everyone's already gone and left, and like,
Yeah,
just save
leave the
Dean Cain
volcano
as
to
well. What the
be.
fuck? Why?
Yeah.
I guess
mean-
he was actually injured, wasn't he? He was like dying anyway. Something flew
He
through the window and
he
got
was dying.
starved.
Exactly. He got injured. Yet somehow all these pilots are getting killed in the cockpit. I don't know how it's happening, but somehow it's happening. Dean Cain got injured somehow. I'd say, yeah. And also a bunch of people on the beach got killed. At one point the volcanoes
right.
erupted and killed. It was like a second Pompeii type of thing.
Yeah, they mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah. So those people got killed. Everybody got killed. I mean, it was a failure of a mission, and they should be ashamed of themselves for
Yeah.
not even like bothering to try and warn anybody. That
Mhm.
should have been their first decision. Like,
Yeah, the volcano won.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mother Nature. This ain't no Dante's Peak.
Hell no.
Overall, even though it wasn't a good movie, I'd still, even as like I said, as shocking as it is to say, this is one of the better asylum movies I've seen. And admittedly, I have seen worse airport ripoffs than this. In fact, I would even argue that one of the airport movies is even worse than this. So all things considered, like as far as airplane movies go, airplane disaster movies go, this wasn't the worst thing I've seen. It was, even though I would say that it was definitely way too long and a lot of what happened was just filler and people complaining about other people's competence levels and crap. 45 minutes of Dean Cain sitting in a cockpit, basically twiddling his thumbs. I'd still say that this was not the worst movie of its kind. I'll be fair to it. I'll give it a 2 out of 5.
That's generous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I like to be kind, especially because I do have sympathy for Dean Cain. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, he was on Lois and Clark. Come on, Dean Cain.
Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I was
Ripley.
thinking the whole time.
Yeah, Ripley's Believe It or Not. Ripley, Believe It or Not, you're in Airplane versus Volcano is what I would say to
Goddamn.
Dean Cain. Yeah.
I gave it a 1.5.
Okay.
And that's
Yeah.
generous. I think that's generous.
Yeah, me too. That's what I would. I'd have to give it a 1 just because of its runtime and
Yeah.
the fact that it wasn't like it didn't play into the B movie like self-awareness that a lot of the good ones do. Like our next
Hmm.
movie. Like
Yeah.
it was just, it took itself seriously. Like there were funny moments that weren't meant, like the fucking seatbelt rescue airplane fucking engine
Yeah.
shit. That was hilarious. That was the best part
I
of the
laughed.
movie. That's the only
Yeah.
reason it gets 1 star for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I liked it mostly because it was nice to see a movie where everybody died. Like, and I don't mean that in a mean way. But once in a while when it comes to disaster movies, sometimes you gotta acknowledge that not all rescue missions can end successfully. Let's be real. So, I mean, when you think, oh, what?
I was gonna say I was surprised it held my attention as much as it did.
Oh, it didn't held mine at all. I was struggling through this actually. I was like really struggling to pay attention, to be honest. Luckily, there wasn't much to pay attention to. So, like when
Maybe
I was
that was
drifting
it.
off, because I definitely drifted off a shit ton, but I missed nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it held my attention, but I mean, I don't know. I could see how, like, I mean, the stuff at the tower is pretty dumb and boring. And then not a whole lot how it happens on the airplane. It's kind of annoying seeing Dean Cain constantly grit his teeth over and over again. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't very good, but I don't know. I've seen worse. I honestly have. Like, I don't know. Maybe my brain is just too fried over all these horrible, horrible movies. Like, just I can't tell good from bad anymore.
Nope. Nope. I don't know anymore, man.
Yeah. But anyway, I guess we shall discuss our last movie here. What's it titled again?
My camera shut off, so you can't see me anyways. But
That's all right.
I'll do a generator as well. 365. The Velocipastor.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Excellent. I can't wait. I think we almost watched that one together.
Yeah, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. It's meant to be. This is fate, gentlemen. This is fate.
The Velocipastor.
Indeed.
Which was also a destiny moment.
Mm.
Because we almost watched this last year.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was a close choice, but yeah. But anyway, so yeah. And had you ever heard of it? So what did you know about this movie before you watched it?
I just heard the ridiculous plot, and I have the Blu-ray. I bought it a while ago, but
Nice.
Yep.
Actually, this movie might be worth owning on Blu-ray now that I think about it.
Yeah, it was my favorite of, at least of these 2 ones, at least. Maybe even all 3.
It was my favorite of the 3. I'm just gonna say it.
Just because it was it was nice and short too. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
I found this movie delightful.
Yeah.
yep. All right, I'll read the plot summary.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Catholic priest Doug Jones witnesses his parents die in a car fire.
In quotes. That was so fucking funny too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First scene. Insert visual effects here.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what it said on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, I know what language this movie's speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was funny too. He was like, hi, like giving a stupid
Yeah.
cheesy wave. Hi, mom. Hi, dad.
Yeah.
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 Oh, and then
He was in priest college. Is what they just called it.
Yeah. And then before that, it says rated X by a group of Catholic something
By an
rather.
all
Right.
Christian jury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny. It's like a callback to like what's his name? Van Bieber. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh yeah. So after he witnesses his parents die in a car fire, he travels to China on a spiritual journey and comes across ninjas searching for an artifact said to turn people into the Dragon Warrior. After becoming infected by the artifact, Doug begins having nightmares and goes out into the forest late at night as he transforms into a dinosaur.
This forest, by the way, is the same forest like from China to wherever they're living in too. It's like it's obviously set in like one small park because there's like there's I don't know, some mafia, like Chinese mafia type thing that just are intense in the same exact area that this Chinese excursion was filmed in.
Yeah, a lot of this movie was shot in the woods, and they just call random parts of it China, pretty much.
Yeah, it's just someone's backyard.
Yeah,
yeah, it's pretty amazing actually. Like I kind of love it. Like and also that transformation scene. Like, I mean, like I don't know. This movie seemed like it was pretty fun to make, honestly.
Yeah. They had to have fun. It was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
He then saves Carol.
There was one joke. There was one joke that made me laugh right in the beginning. Is when he was in China, he was like looking at his compass, just walking around. He was just like, "Oh, China is east."
It was silly.
Yeah.
He then saves Carol, a sex worker, from a thug. Waking up in Carol's bed naked with no memory of the night before. Doug initially believes they had sex, but after Carol tells him what happened, he realizes the truth. Unpersuaded by her suggestion to use his new power to fight crime and get rid of people they believe are beyond spiritual salvation, he returns to the church for confessions, speaking to Frankie Mermaid, Carol's pimp.
Oh gosh.
Oh right, that guy was funny as fuck.
Yeah, he was my favorite character.
Yeah.
Interesting name.
Yeah.
Hey, Frankie Mermaid, because he's swimming in bitches.
Yeah.
They call me Frankie Mermaid. Yeah, he's like one of those evil characters. They like as soon as you meet him, you know he's about to die. Like,
Yeah,
he just looks like
no
a
way that a movie
scumbag.
like this is gonna let him live for longer than a minute. Like,
Yeah.
He learns Mermaid is the one responsible for killing Doug's parents. I forget, it was something stupid.
oh yeah, the car explosion. Like, he didn't he like did they like witnessed something, or I don't even remember, but maybe I'm getting confused with the movie.
It was something funny, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
He was in the confession booth and he was just trashing it, and then he also made fun of him because he was like, "Oh yeah, their stupid son was across the street or something."
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, just to pour salt in the wound.
Yeah.
Enraged, Doug proceeds to kill Mermaid, and now convinced about her plan to fight crime, returns to Carol, needing her assistance.
Yeah, kills him, Tammy in the T-Rex style.
Yeah. Which I've thought about picking for a while too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be a good one.
Father Stewart, learning of Doug's new power, encourages Doug to lose it and stop killing. He takes him to see Altair, an exorcist, hoping to remove Doug's power. In a flashback, we learn Father Stewart saw a war buddy shot while off guard that his love and that his love interest was killed in an accident.
Oh, that was a beautiful scene. Yeah. So we're back. He's in the Vietnam War. Looks
the
exactly the same
backyard.
age, with a awful wig. We see his regular gray hair over underneath the blonde wig
Yeah, pretty much no difference. Yeah,
at all. It was great.
yeah,
Yeah. So his partner gets killed, and then his girlfriend comes running and explodes literally right in front of him from like a mine that was
yeah.
literally
And it was-
feet in front of like where they were just sitting smoking cigarettes. Like
Yeah,
they
it was
just
right
got
after
lucky they didn't get hit by that.
Yeah, it was like right after he had just gone on talking about how much he was looking forward to his wife and finally having a family and living the life that he dreams of and all this stuff, only like to watch her get blown up by a landmine. It's pretty funny.
Back in the present, the exorcism fails and Doug transforms, taking one of Father Stewart's eyes.
Mm,
Yeah. Fake out death there.
yeah.
Returning to Carol, Doug is confronted by ninjas.
Mm. Yeah, that was a glorious fight scene.
Yeah.
And I don't know if ninjas are Chinese. I thought they were like a Japanese thing too. So
In the world of this movie, it don't matter.
Yeah. Guess not.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Father Stewart wakes up in a camp of drug dealing Christian ninjas, led by Wei Chan, who plans to sell highly addictive cocaine to people and then cut off supplies.
Oh man. Yeah, talk about evil. Jeez.
Wei Chan hopes this will lead the addicts to turn to the church, where he will eventually take over and use them as his army.
Yeah. Can you imagine like a Christian church converting people to Christianity through heroin?
Father Stewart rejects this idea and is killed. Duck and Carol are confronted by ninjas and plan to stop Wei Chan. Doug is stopped by Sam the White Ninja, which apparently is what he's credited as. Sam the White Ninja.
Huh. All
All right. Well, that answers the question.
Who he later realizes is his brother.
Oh, okay.
That was hilarious too. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was like a few of those flashback scenes of him having, like, they showed it earlier and then they just showed it like with his brother in the background. like a breakfast scene, and then the scene of him going to priest college, he like pops out of the back seat randomly. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Ugh.
Doug catches Sam off guard, uses his telekinesis, which came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was a little random. I mean, I felt like I might have missed something, but at the same time, it's like, meh. I guess it doesn't matter. Like,
it's the power of the Lord.
Yeah, the power of the Lord. The Lord works in mysterious ways.
Doug catches Sam off guard, uses his telekinesis to take Sam's sword and kill him. Doug and Carol fight off more ninjas.
Oh, I know what the telekinesis was
Oh.
too. It was
Yeah.
it was passed down heretically, that sword. It was like some type of mythical sword that was passed down and in his blood, like that white ninja, whatever his name is, bloodline. He's like, I don't want this. I want to, whatever, kill you one by one. And then he takes it and he's like, we're brothers, so it's in my blood too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay. That's funny. Yeah, this movie has a lot of flashbacks.
Yeah.
A lot of backstory. They really tried to build a little bit of a world here.
A couple
actually.
montages too.
Yeah, you got a few montages.
There was one hilarious one, like where they find like him and the hooker finally decide to, team up and go kill people.
Yeah.
There was a funny line. He's like, "What?" She said, "I don't know much about God," and he's like, "I don't know much about dinosaurs."
Yeah.
And even before that, he was like, he didn't even, "Oh, dinosaurs never even existed, so I don't believe you," and shit like that. But
It's
the montage started off with them doing like a high five, and then it had just like a training / murdering bad guys montage.
yeah. It's so
That was
silly.
awesome.
Yeah.
Doug and Carol fight off more ninjas and are badly wounded. Doug, fighting off the remaining ninjas, is shot by Wei Chan with an arrow containing anti-venom to stop his transformation. Which just he has little raptor claws for the rest of the scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Which
and his
yeah.
because he was about to get killed too, and he was and the main bad guy was like, "Any last words?" "Yeah, 6. I think my hands are immune." And he has raptor hands still.
Yeah, just want to. I don't. Maybe I'll throw in a clip or something. But the fucking dinosaur suit, just like so fucking chunky and has no neck.
It was so hilarious. Like you could tell how like it was the head was like way above the face too, like because it had a huge hunchback and shit. Like
yeah, it was
so
glorious.
Good. It was lovely.
Yeah, it was like old school DIY style monster suit. Yeah, like
right.
and there were a lot of movies like in the 50s and 60s that were that had that kind of thing going on, and I thought the suit in this movie sort of followed in those footsteps. It was really charming. I mean, like as schlocky and crappy as it looked, I still prefer it to computer graphics like any day. Like because at least it's fun to look at. Like
Mm-hmm.
And
it was hilarious, and this was very self-aware too. It was being stupid as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, its movements were so awkward and funny. It looked like deformed Barney the dinosaur. Its face was adorable. Like it had like a cute, expressive dinosaur face.
Yeah, and you could also, I think, in some shots, just see like the actor's face in the mouth.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I think I did catch it at one point. Yeah.
And there was like just one part during the fight scene where the fucking dinosaur falls over too.
Yeah.
And the way that suit's made is like, oh, there's no way he can even possibly get back up with help. So just it like cuts to him being back on his feet.
Yeah, I laughed. I was like, yeah, you just gotta keep going.
Yeah, one take. That's all you get with this shit.
He left the fall in the shot. He wiped out in the dinosaur costume, and we got to see the blooper. Actually, I had a job one time where I was dressed as a giant mattress man, and the wind blew me over one time.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
you can relate.
Yeah. I mean, it was an embarrassing situation, but I was also laughing my ass off, like because I seriously couldn't get up. Like I had to crawl out of the suit, but I had to like pull the straps off, and the straps were tied like super tight, and I couldn't like move like my arms at all. It was ridiculous, but I did eventually get out. Oh my god, it was so funny. Anyway.
Doug's hands are immune to the anti-venom, and he proceeds to kill Wei Chan. Doug carries Carol to the hospital where she recovers. Doug, no longer a priest with a bounty on his head, plans on traveling the world with Carol and continuing their original idea of killing off criminals.
And that
Happy
hospital
ending.
was funny too. That hospital set.
Yeah.
It was like it was like a, I don't know, like an urgent care-ish, not like an actual like needed surgery.
Looked like a school nurse's room or something.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
on like a family practice little rinky dinky thing. But
Yeah. If more Christian movies were like this, I would watch more Christian movies. I'd be into more that were like this.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I'd still watch Left Behind though. It's got Nicolas Cage in it.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
I haven't watched it yet. Left Behind. Yeah, Nicolas Cage.
Watch it eventually.
Yeah, might have to jot that title down.
Yeah, that's the Velocipastor.
Yeah.
Let's see. I got a couple just random things. There
Okay.
was that weird ass scene where he had no clothes, so he's in a dress to do some
Yeah.
investigation. That was funny.
Yeah.
The hooker girl was like studying to be a doctor lawyer. Like, what the fuck is that? Like,
Yeah.
just like, okay, very good for her, you know, setting her sights high.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there was just that one scene where like they had that henchman laughing shit.
Oh
And,
Yeah.
and the white ninja was going through a gambit of different laughs
Yeah.
over like 2 minutes. It was so fucking funny.
That was funny. You know, like, yeah, I mean, I dug this movie a lot. It had it almost sort of like an anti-humor vibe going on in a way, you know. Like, it did not like super over the top, but just like the way it kind of slightly exaggerated everything. It just had that quality to it, like that. I like that kind of humor, you know, where you could tell they're like exaggerating it just a little bit. And there's a good way to balance that out. Black Dynamite's a good example, you know, where like Black Dynamite's a great movie because it kind of fits the prototype of like what you would expect from a movie like that, but it also has all the tropes and it exaggerates it and has a delightful awareness about it.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, it really that is such a great movie. I would watch that again, I think. I haven't watched that one for a long time. So
Black Dynamite.
Oh, yeah. That's
fun. Yeah. But yeah, this one was kind of a mishmash of a couple different things, but I liked it more as like a silly little like martial arts style comedy with a dinosaur. Like it's fun. It was a silly, cheap little movie that I found utterly delightful.
Yeah. Apparently there's gonna be another one.
Okay.
Really? I'd watch it probably.
Yeah.
I would be curious. Yeah. I feel like they could overdo it if they
yeah, easily.
Yeah.
This could be just lightning in a bottle.
Exactly. Yeah. Like if we saw the second film and the humor just wasn't the same. It was just like lame. Like then it'd be like, okay, yeah, this didn't need to happen.
Yeah. And then apparently the director thought of the idea after his phone auto-corrected Velociraptor to Velocipastor.
So
that's awesome.
This movie was based on an autocorrect mistake.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I love that. It makes me laugh.
Yeah, I enjoyed it for the most part. I gave it a 3.
Yeah, I think I'd give it about a 3 as well.
Yeah, 3's all around. Then I'd give it a 1. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 3 for 3. Well, actually, no, it's not for 3 for. I used that incorrectly because the other 2 movies like were not 3s. So yeah. All right, but no, Velocipastor, definitely the type of movie that I would say this. I mean, I probably wouldn't have watched this movie if it hadn't been for this, you know. And so, like, and I'm glad, like, because like, I never know what to expect from a movie like that because it's like Velocipastor. Okay, like, what can they really do with it? Turns out, like,
Huh.
with the
I
right
might-
type of vision. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have watched. I think even because I definitely heard of it and was interested, and then I probably would have. Well, maybe not because I don't get around to watching as many as I'd like.
Yeah.
But with the runtime, if I saw that, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'll just fucking throw it on. An hour long, stupid shit.
It's worth it. Title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't watch which we watched this one instead of Wicked World.
Yeah.
That'd have been fun.
Wicked World was kind of traumatizing.
The Lost episode.
Yeah, the lost episode.
I still got the files around. If you can ever figure out how to get them to work.
Yeah. No.
I still got them. We'll put it up eventually. It's not gonna be the greatest, but
Yeah, we'll figure out something to do with it.
Something
maybe.
new, something interesting.
Yeah. But in the meantime, though, our 50th episode is coming up. And all I can say is it's about time.
It feels like long. I mean, I guess we had different, types of ones that didn't count for 50, but the mainstream 50 is coming up. Yeah. That's the next one, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's about time. That's why I said it's about time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who would like to duel out their
It's
title?
about time. Oh, I got it.
Yeah, you
I
get
see
it?
what you did there. It took me a minute.
Yeah, I was pulling an Amityville, because there's Amityville 1992. It's about time, which is it's a stupid title for a movie because it's a double entendre because the movie is about a haunted clock, but then also the title could also mean, oh, it's about time another Amityville movie comes out. So it's haha, I did that with this episode. So couple of flicks, episode 50, it's about time. But so who wants to give their title first? Should I? Or
I'll go since you gave me the tee up.
oh
Mine
yeah,
is
sure.
the one I chose is About Time.
Yes. Yes. So these episodes we're straying a little bit from our typical format. We're exploring other avenues.
Movies
Time
we
is-
liked in general.
Yes.
And mine's
Yeah.
actually just not a one that you'd think I would like. It's a rom-com type movie or rom fantasy, rom sci-fi, if anyone's familiar with it. Have you guys seen it? You've
I
never
haven't.
seen it? Oh man. I
No.
love it.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to watch it.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, I'll give my title out next. The title I chose is In Time, and I chose this title because several people have recommended this to me actually, and including you actually.
And you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Oh
No.
wow. Okay.
yeah, haven't seen it either.
What?
Yeah.
This is a rare episode, I think, that because I've seen
Yeah.
all three of these that we're going to be choosing.
Oh, nice. Well, yeah, no, I'm stoked. I can't wait. Yeah. All right, and then your choice, Zach.
And yeah, mine is Time Crimes. I think both of you recommended this in previous episodes, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
fit the
fun.
theme.
Super
So
Yep.
I'd finally watch it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love that movie. I'm excited to rewatch it. So. All right. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna do About Time, In Time, and Time Crimes on our next episode. So yeah, look forward to that. And yeah, until then, have a good night and stay safe.
Yep. Have a good one.
See ya.